Welcome to another Cream Rises Up bite-size episode.
Linux has been neglected for so long by the gaming kingpins, while Windows, its arch-nemesis, has been getting all the love and attention so far when it comes to hardcore gaming. The recently shocking revelations from Nvidia that it has begun publishing an open-source version of kernel modules for its hardware is a huge relief for Linux users who need to squeeze as much performance as possible from their beefy graphics cards.
Following this jaw-dropping announcement, playing AAA games in Linux is not going to be the same anymore.
This move will definitely settle some nerves and repair a bridge, even though it's long time coming.
This release is a huge step toward improving the experience of using Nvidia GPUs in Linux.
Developers will also have a chance to actively debug the source code, which will lead to a tighter integration with the Linux kernel. According to Nvidia, Canonical and SUSE can immediately package the open kernel modules with Ubuntu and SUSE Linux enterprise distributions. However, because of Nvidia's different codebase in contrast with the Linux kernel, upstreaming these modules will have to wait a bit. Besides the Nvidia revelation, Linux gaming is also gathering a lot of momentum because what companies like Valve did in recent times. It's a well-known fact that Valve is heavily invested on Linux since its own SteamOS is based on Linux distributions. The company is involved in making the Linux kernel better suited for gamers. In 2019, Valve has contributed a patch for the Linux kernel which is thought to improve the gaming experience on Linux platforms.
Besides directly participating in the Linux kernel, Valve's involvement in Proton is immense.
Proton is a compatibility layer that allows Windows games to run on Linux-based operating systems. Valve worked with Codeweaver's developers to build Proton as a fork of wine. This enabled many Linux hardcores and enthusiasts to enjoy Windows-only games. The Steam Deck, Valve's much-anticipated handheld gaming console, perfectly integrated the Proton compatibility layer within its SteamOS. With the release of SteamOS, Valve also encouraged game developers to work on Linux compatibility in their releases. It's no stretch to claim that Proton played an unparalleled role in terms of bringing the gaming horde to Linux. Valve has been steadily improving Proton ever since it launched in 2018. ProtonDB, a community-driven database for game compatibility, currently tracks almost 19,000 games, of which over 15,000 work on Linux. The launch of the Steam Deck also played a very significant role in terms of popularizing Linux as a viable gaming platform and a worthy contender to Windows. It has garnered plenty of rave reviews from the gaming community and became one of the well-received handheld gaming consoles of our time. With a measly price tag of $400, the Steam Deck surely held its own against Nintendo Switch and other similar caliber handheld consoles. If the Steam Deck continues to be a smashing success, it may bring other companies to unite around a common OS and common set of technologies outside of Windows.
So, there you have it. Nvidia's sudden epiphany and Valve's stellar effort marked the beginning of a new era for Linux gaming.
Granted, Linux still has a lot of catching up to do when it comes to supporting popular AAA games, and many big hitters in the gaming industry still not sure about the growth of desktop Linux. However, these recent revelations may just turn the tide for Linux, and many are watching to discover how this is going to pan out.